Hey everyone. Last week I posted a video on this group with regards to an EMDR session. So today I'm going to be sharing my screen and watching this video while commenting on it. What would I do differently using IEMT? Why would I do things differently? Lots of people get the question, what's the difference between IEMT and EMDR, and why would somebody want to learn IEMT? So as a distinction, just noticing this session, which is a demo session, this is more of a meta commentary of what's going on from an IEMT perspective. Maybe there's a different reasoning for people who have actually done the EMDR training from A to Z, and there's a specific sequencing where they do things. So I'm not going to go through all the video. I'm just going to go through the eye movement section of the video. And please, in the comments, just let me know what you think. And if there's something I missed, there's something different that you might do, why you might do that, and all of this. So I'm going to be sharing my screen right now to start the video.
So today we're going to be processing that memory of your parents yelling at you when you were a young girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So would you be able to tell me the image that represents the worst part of that memory?
Okay, so as a start, they have already pre-selected a memory. We don't do that basically in IEMT, having a pre-selected memory that we are going to work with. Sometimes the client might present like they have a memory that's stuck in their mind, they want to do something about it. Or when we do the introductory exercise, we tell them to think of a memory. So this is pre-selected. This is not in the here and now. The question is the person associated in the problem? Is the person not associated in the problem? That's something to think of. On the other hand, also in IEMT, we do the introductory exercise, which I mentioned in the past video, which is, does this work on this person or not? Would there be any difference if we actually move their eyes, which could be a prerequisite to doing this? Last part on this specific point, the therapist asks her, what is the worst part of, what is the image that represents the worst part? In IEMT, we're not purely working with visual information. We're working with a combination of information that we have. So we have an emotion, then we connect it to a memory. So there could be auditory stuff, there could be kinesthetic felt sense stuff, there could be a grouping of many different things. So having the person to think which image is the worst part would be more on the logical sense. And there's this comparison between good and bad and what's worse and what's better. So I don't think that would be as effective as the specific approach that we might be using IEMT.
I think the thing that stands out the most is the image of me in my room crying alone.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that stands out the most is the image of me crying alone in the room. So is she seeing herself in that experience? Everybody noticed the me, which is where is me, how old is me, what's happening around me. I would be taking note of that if I were working with her. So if she's actually seeing herself, is she, well, then we go to the kinesthetic position. Is she seeing herself as a kid? Is she as a kid dissociated from herself? Is she as an adult seeing her child version going through this? So these are completely different kinesthetic positions. Worth exploring the me, where is me, how old is me, what's happening around me, and what's the emotion related to that.
When you hold that image of you crying alone in your room, are there any negative beliefs about yourself that feel at all true right now that go along with that image?
So here the therapist jumped directly into beliefs. So as you hold this image of you, well, but it's the image of me. So if we're using the specific pronouns over here, it could be more helpful for the person to just connect with their internal experience. And then they go to a belief. What is a belief that you hold true now in relation to that? Are we changing what they believe about the experience? So if somebody, for example, was in a car accident or somebody was abused in a certain way, what do they believe about it, about that specific situation? Although there might be some belief formation and some belief work in some context is useful, changing what you believe about a painful situation in life is a completely different aspect than processing what you felt at a certain point in life. In IEMT, we work on how did the person learn to be the way they are in the world. So how did the person learn how to be the way they are in the world, compared with what you believe about what you learned at that specific point, which is a meta position, and changing how I think I felt is very different than processing how I experience or how I feel things, or the emotional imprint that I'm operating from based on that specific experience. So that's a complete mismatch between changing a feeling and changing what you believe or think about an experience.
I think what comes to mind is like I'm bad, or I'm a bad daughter.
Okay.
I'm a bad kid.
So there's the maybe man. Is it this, or is it this, or is it that? So she's not even sure, because the therapist is saying, do you have a belief? The person might not have a certain belief at that specific point. Again, we work in IEMT with the person's experience rather than our projections as a practitioner on what we think is the thing that they should be working on, or the thing that is possibly problematic based on the model we're operating from.
Okay. Is there a belief that you would prefer to feel about yourself that would go along with that image?
Now we go to future pacing. So is there a belief that you would prefer in the future to have to believe about yourself? Which is fine, again, but is it more how I'm experiencing things, or is it more how I think I should be feeling?
Because I would like to believe that I'm good. I'm a good daughter. I'm a good person.
Okay. As you hold that image in your mind of you alone crying in your room, and you say the words to yourself, I'm good, I'm a good daughter, how true does that feel on a gut level, on a scale from 1 completely false to 7 completely true?
Did you know that there's
an ad. I'm going to mute the ad for a second over here. So the idea is, as you think of the past image that you had, when you say this new affirmation or this new belief, how true does it feel? I don't get the point of this. Are we gonna get the person to lie to themselves about a certain experience, or are we gonna and increase their, as Andy calls it, their kinesthetic denial of what they're experiencing, what they feel about a certain part of their lives? Or are we gonna get them to see what happened and process and integrate that specific experience so that it's part of their life, they lived it, they moved on from it, the age progression, but it's no longer the way they're operating, the way that they think because of this emotional imprint. Can I remove the mute again?
Completely
No,
false
like-
and completely true.
Probably like a 1.
Probably like a
Oh,
1.
Yeah, not
And this is a maybe man terminology.
too true.
Okay. As you hold that image in mind and you say the words to yourself, I'm a bad daughter, what feeling comes up right now?
Like shame, guilt, sadness
Where do you feel that in your body?
in my stomach.
And right now, how strong is that feeling from 0 to 10?
I would have to say like an 8.
Again, maybe man. So when he asked her how strong is that feeling, is it one of the 3 that she mentioned? Is it the combination, the cocktail that she feels at the pit of her stomach? Or there is no specificity in what he's actually asking her and what he wants her to do.
Pretty strong.
Can I ask you to take the image,
Mhm.
that negative belief of I'm not good, I'm a bad daughter,
Mhm.
and those feelings of shame and guilt,
Mhm.
and can you go with it?
So he wants her to get the belief, the image of the belief and the feelings. And can you go with it? Can she go with what? Like, each emotion could have a different part in the memory, because memory is very, very specific. It could be a 1-2 second thing that's related to the emotional imprint. It could be like a GIF, it could be like a still picture, it could be like a movie, 5-6 second movie, it could be something auditory. So he wants the belief that she just came up with. She just labeled using the left brain her specific experience, and he wants her to go with it. No idea what she's going with.
Let's do it.
Right.
The speed is a bit fast, and the direction. So she's not going the full direction. So she to the left, she's not going to the fully to the left. And the speed is just very, very close.
Hook him up.
I just had this memory of my mom being outside my door, like calling my name.
Go with it.
So I just got this memory of my mom standing outside my door. Just go with it. Okay, could be useful because, as you know, in IEMT, sometimes other memories showed up. But in IEMT terms, you can go, okay, so is there a feeling associated to that memory? So the practitioner is assuming that this memory of the mom standing outside the door is problematic. Again, she's not going fully to her right, and it's very limited.
Hook him up.
I remember I thought she was, coming back to yell at me some more, but I think she was more concerned that I was all alone in my room because even though they yelled at me, they didn't want me to be upset and alone.
Okay, go with it.
So here, she moved forward in time. Let's say she was stuck, although I don't know. And he got the eye movements. She moved forward in time, and she realized that her mother was concerned about her rather than she's coming back to yell at her. And then he tells her to go with it. Is it problematic? What's making him use this specific memory rather than asking her, so is that a problem? Does that cause an emotion that you don't want anymore? No, just go with it. And he starts moving the eyes. She's moving the head, not going all the way to a certain part, a certain direction.
Hook him up.
I guess maybe I feel, I don't know, a little better, like just that when she came to, talk to me or was calling my name, it made me think maybe I wasn't like the worst daughter ever, like, because she was still a little concerned about me, even though she was mad at me.
Okay. Would you be able to go back to that original image for me? Can you get that back up?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Do you notice any
I'm going to
disturbance?
stop here. Basically, so what is he going with? The lack of specificity, the lack of just noticing where he started or where he ended, the lack of noticing definitely of the patterns of chronicity that are not present in EMDR. In the end, she's mentioning, I guess it's probably maybe, which are the qualifiers that are related to the maybe phenomena. So this is one short video. If you'd like me to do more analysis videos on some stuff similar to this, maybe related also to EMDR, if I can find something online, or any other session that you find interesting, just drop it in the comment or send it to me via chat, via Messenger, or WhatsApp if you have my contact, and I shall do a video on that. So thanks for your time and attention, and see you soon.